But before he could react further, a mysterious female figure swooped in, catching him mid-air effortlessly. He looked up to see a woman standing on the deck of her ship, her sails adorned with hearts fluttering in the breeze. With a swift movement, she drew her pistol and aimed directly at the crab, firing a shot that sent the creature scuttling away into the depths. She was striking, with a white cowboy hat perched atop her head. Although her attire was peculiar, it was somewhat captivating as she wore a purple coat that overlapped her white bikini top. The woman smiled at him with a sense of amusement, taking in Buggy's small and frail appearance. One Piece. Story was made by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 51, Roronoa Zoro, falls into the sea. Having drawn his 3 swords, Zoro faced off against the legendary Hawkeye's Mihawk. To be honest, I never thought I'd be able to meet you so early on. Zoro's words hung heavy in the tense atmosphere. A waste, if you ask me, came Mihawk's cool reply. The duel had drawn the attention of all present within the destruction of Krieg's ship. Among them, Patty remarked, the world's strongest swordsman versus the pirate hunter Zoro. Luffy, Usopp, and Johnny watched intently as Yosaku's cheers rang out with confidence. There's not a chance someone can match our bro. Don Krieg struggled with the weight of his golden armor as he pondered curiously. That man, just what did he do to this ship? Biting down on the handle of his sword, Zoro's gaze remained focused as he questioned Mihawk's intentions. Just what are you planning to do with that? But Mihawk didn't care. Instead, he calmly removed a pendant from around his neck to reveal a very small pocket knife. I'm different from those stupid brutes who'd go all out just to hunt a mere rabbit. Though you may be a swordsman of some renown, this is the East Blue, the weakest of the 4 seas, that are separated by the Red Line and the Grand Line. Unfortunately, I do not have a blade smaller than this at the moment. There's a limit to just how much you can underestimate me. Zoro's fury burned as he charged directly at him. You better not regret it when you die! Mihawk's response was nonchalant, his words carrying a weight of superiority. Hear me, little frog in his well. It's time for you to realize that the world is bigger than what it seems from your well. Oni! Giri! With ferocious force, Zoro unleashed his attack, but to his astonishment, Mihawk effortlessly halted all 3 katanas with the tip of his knife. Zoro! Luffy voiced out, as the bounty hunters exclaimed in disbelief. Brothers Onigiri was stopped. His signature move that always sends his opponents flying was stopped. I can't move. There hasn't been a single man who could see through that move until now. So how can he stop me with that toy? This is ridiculous. That's impossible. Why are we different? It's not possible for the world to be this far away. Unable to comprehend the defeat of his strongest technique, Zoro's frustration boiled over into a frenzy of strikes, each one effortlessly parried by Mihawk's precise movements. There shouldn't be such a vast distance between us. There can't be. Zoro's thoughts raced as he relentlessly pressed forward. Come on, bro! Yosaku and Johnny urged on with a shout. Show him what you're really made of! Observing his attack, Mihawk comments calmly. Such ferocity. He's easily taking on Roronoa Zoro's 3 swords with that little thing. Krieg's men pondered in awe. With all of his willpower, Zoro pressed on. I didn't train so hard until today, just to fight against the stupid little toy. I trained to win. I came to beat this man. The weight of his promise to Quina weighed heavily in his mind, driving him forward against insurmountable odds. He cherished her unwavering dream of mastering the sword, vowing to make his name soar to celestial heights. Even across the seas his legend spread, striking terror into pirates' hearts. It was at that moment when he met the bounty hunters, Yosaku and Johnny, who agreed to work together in their line of business. Mihawk, sensing Zoro's inner turmoil, questioned him further. "What burdens you so? What do you desire at the extent of your strength, weakling?" Infuriated by the insult, Johnny and Yosaku moved to intervene. "How dare you call our bro a weakling? We ought to teach you a lesson, you bastard!" But Luffy held them back with a tight grip. "Stop, Yosaku! Johnny, don't interfere! Stay put, right here!" "Luffy," Usopp pondered. With a swift motion, Mihawk's knife sent Zoro crashing to the deck below, but even when he was put into his place, Zoro refused to yield and held on to the wooden floorboards. He recalled the time when he met Luffy. At that moment, he made a promise to become the world's strongest swordsman, to be a future member of the Pirate King's crew. "Tora! Giri!" But before his strike could land, Mihawk moved with blinding speed, and with his knife, he stabbed Zoro in the chest. Luffy and the bounty hunters watched helplessly as blood seeped from Zoro's wound, staining the deck with crimson. But Zoro remained steadfast, refusing to yield even in the face of certain defeat. "Do you wish for me to pierce your heart thus?" Mihawk said calmly and yet somewhat curious. "Why do you refuse to step back?" "Beats me," he replied. "Not really sure myself, but I get the feeling that if I were to take even one step back right now, I'd lose something very important to me. A promise or oath, or whatever it is, would be irreversibly broken, and that I'd never be able to return back to where I'm standing now. Yes, such is defeat." "Then that's why I can't step back," he muffled. Mihawk's curiosity probed him further as he questioned, "Even if it means your death?" "I'd much rather die," Zoro declared. Impressed by the swordsman's conviction, Mihawk withdrew his knife from his chest. "Kid, tell me your name." With his 3 swords forming a circle, Zoro met his gaze as he answered, "Roronoa, Zoro." With a solemn nod, Mihawk drew his legendary black blade. "I shall remember it, for your strength is not oft seen in this world. And to pay my respect to you as a fellow swordsman, I shall end this duel with my black sword, the world's strongest sword." "He unsheathed it!" Krieg's men erupted in cries of alarm. "That sword he used to cut our ship with!" Zoro's thoughts raced as he prepared for the inevitable. "So this is it, the final blow. If I miss here, I'll die, to be the world's strongest swordsman, or die here and now." "Die!" Mihawk's voice thundered as he lunged directly at him. "Bro, that's enough! Stop!" But Zoro was not one to go down without a fight. With a roar that echoed across the sea, he unleashed his own devastating technique, spinning all 3 of his swords in a whirlwind of steel. "Sentoryu Ugi! Sanzen Sekai!" For a fleeting moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a resounding clash, the unthinkable happened. 2 of Zoro's swords snapped off in pieces, leaving him defenseless against Mihawk's relentless assault. "I lost. I'm no match for him. Never even thought about the possibility of losing. So this is the strength of the world's strongest." With a heavy heart, Zoro retrieved his white katana from his mouth and sheathed it in his case. He stood tall before Mihawk, his chest bared and arms outstretched, ready to accept his fate. "What?" Blood trickled from Zoro's lips as he spoke. "A wound on one's back is the shame of a swordsman." "Splendid." Mihawk's blade fell with a swift and decisive blow, slashing Zoro's chest with a single strike. "Zoro!" Luffy panicked in a loud shout.